stand. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. Distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Railted 2021, a symposium on rail technology and development. We have a great lineup of 5 speakers, so I will not waste any more time. Before I introduce the first presenter, we have some opening remarks, and I would like to invite Dr. Arvind Harinarayana, Committee Council of MARIC. Please welcome.
Hello, and very good afternoon, and a warm welcome to you all to the afternoon session of the Symposium on Rail Technology and Development, Railted 2021, with the theme, Driving the Competitiveness of an Integrated, Affordable, Reliable, and Smooth Urban Public Rail for First and Last Mile Mobility. I would like to thank the team from University Tunku Abdul Rahman, UTAR, the team from MIGHT, and also from MARIC for co-organizing this symposium. I would also like to express our sincere gratitude to the Honorable Deputy Minister of Transport, Yang Berhormat Datuk Henry Sam Agong, for his keynote address and officiating the event earlier this morning. In attendance for this afternoon session are representatives from the government, industry players, and academia. So what this means is that we have the core ingredients of the triple helix model of innovation, widely regarded as the core foundation for policies and framework development. This collaboration is certainly a must for our Malaysian railway industry, which has grown steadily over the past 30 years. Our MARIC member companies have played their part in the development of our railway network during that period, such as the electrified meter gauge double track lines for the intercity and commuter services, as well as one of the first automated light rail transit systems in Southeast Asia, now known as the Kanajaya line. MARIC members have also provided their products and services to the global market, meeting international standards, while carrying the charm and spirit of Malaysia Boleh wherever we go. Echoing what our President, Datuk Muhammad Yusof Sulaiman, had mentioned in his welcoming remarks this morning, MARIC is ready to support all the government initiatives and work together with the agencies as well as colleagues from academia to deliver world-class railway systems here in Malaysia and abroad. I hope the participants of today's symposium will find the talks from our fellow speakers informative and be inspired to elevate themselves as we move forward in the era of the fourth industrial revolution and achieve sustainable development goals to preserve our future. With that, I thank you all very much, and I hope you enjoyed the session this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arvind. And now we can move to our first presenter, and he is Encik Adam Abu Hanifah from Railway Assets Corporation, the General Manager, and he will be presenting on transit-oriented development. We will have our questions session after each presentation. Please welcome Encik Adam.
If you don't mind. Distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera. Salam satu Malaysia. Oi, tak nak? Okay. Not many people know what is RAC. And I must admit, prior to joining RAC, I have not even heard of what is RAC. Never heard of such organization. Hence, my presentation today will be focusing on what's RAC and our projects under this TOD concept. This is how RAC evolved from revocation of Railway Ordinance, formulation of Railway Act in 1991, where we were born. RAC was born in 1991. And then it became Perbadanan Asset Kereta Api Incorporated, and we rebranded to Railway Asset Corporation in 2015. What are our roles and responsibilities? Now, simply to manage, administer, and maintain all assets, rights, and liabilities owned by Kereta Api Tanah Melayu before August 92. To discharge duties of developing and redeveloping railway infra and provide excellent railway services in the country. And most importantly, of course, to carry out and perform any functions as may prescribed by the Minister. Okay, next. Managing railway land. Now, TOD projects, to explore and value of REC assets, providing a platform for development of sustainable railway. Now, that's the plan. One of it is, of course, TOD, transit-oriented development on existing landmarks and land banks, monetizing the commercial assets of REC. Now, that's the main role that we are doing right now. We have land banks all over Semenanjung, Malaysia, and we are trying to monetize it. And also, of course, for affordable housing, this is, of course, to support the rail industry in the sense that it will raise the ridership. Okay, next, managing railway land. Many inputs and variables that is related to railway land, catalyzing growth, promote connectivity, increase population and ridership, preserving national heritage, regeneration and revitalizing, tourism and commercial potential, so on and so forth. Next. Okay. TOD, an overview, what is TOD? Now, what's the big fuss and hype about this TOD? Yes, it is a business opportunity. Yes, it is also a new thing in a way of life. But in general, it means integrated urban space, places designed to bring people, activities, building public space, etc. And near excellent transit services to the rest of the city. Now, a simple analogy would be that KL Central, for example, it's a transportation hub consisting of commercial, residential, office spaces, hotels, etc., where people converge for so many reasons: work, accommodation, staying, play, and whatnot. Now, factors driving the trend towards TOD. Rapid growing, here's the problem: traffic. Increase of traffic, pollutions and whatnot, it's a hereditary problem. If we want to go somewhere, normally we would like to park our car right in front of the supermarket. Now, in today's situation, it's not so. People are more conscious with environment. People are more concerned about many things in life. It's not about cars. But then again, it's a conflicting policy. In one sense, the government supports the local auto car industry, but on the other hand, supports the public transportation. Growing desire for quality urban lifestyle, walkable lifestyle, changes of family structure. The modern family nowadays, they don't have too many children, probably one, probably two. Growing national support for smart growth. Again, this is something workable, especially in Europe. I think where rail is the main transportation mode, and not the road. Now, I think that's why Europe exports Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Porsche, and other makes and model to the east. Because if you go to Switzerland, for example, or any other European countries, most of these cars are like Mercedes-Benz or BMW. Dia dah jadi macam taxi pula. Okay. Next. Okay. Identifying TOD hotspots. Now, TOD concept works well with REC simply because the railway tracks that goes all the way from JB to Padang Besar and from Gemas to Tumpat, it's just like a backbone of Semenanjung. Along the way, there's always an opportunity for us to construct or to build TOD. Let's share projects under REC. Next, please. Completed projects. The first is Eco City, KL Eco City. The agreement was signed in 2013 and it has completed in 2018. Those familiar with this TOD project at KL Eco City, it's connecting KL Eco City with Gardens and also Mid Valley. Next, sir. Thank you. Penang Central is an outright sale. Agreement signed in 2014, completed in 2018. Again, there are some issues, but we are sorting out. Work in progress. We also have Kajang 2. It is final stage right now. A few issues. I think this one is just integrating the AFC system to the station. Next is a land swap. It is a building under REC. It's called REC Central, which is expected to be completed not in 2022, but first quarter of 2023. It is a 30-story building right next to KL Central. If you can look at the northern side, that's KL Central. We'll be opening this building for other organization who wants to lease or rent the building. Next would be Pudu LRT station, which is an outright sale to an organization. Agreement was signed in 2019 and it is expected to be completed in 2024. It will support the Pudu station and also the surrounding. It's going to be a very huge project consisting of, I think it's 50-something building, 45, and 55 or 56 story of building. It's going to be a huge project. It has just been launched by the developer. And in terms of negotiation stage, we have a few. One is the Bangsa land, which is a land swap. And also the return to REC will be in cash and kind. This is a bit tricky, but workable. Why is it so it's tricky? Because the developer has to find a temporary accommodation for the current KTMB staff, move them somewhere else, find them an accommodation, demolish the whole building area and redevelop. So it's workable, but then again, I would use the word tricky and costly as well. The next is Batu Tiga. It's a land swap. It's supposed to have a station there, but I think at the end of the day, KTMB decided that the station is not workable there because of the turning point, which is too sharp. The next one is the Gambut Dalam. This is, I think, the developer has included a station here to support, I think, the CF for the building. So this is just in kind. That means we'll be receiving a station and we'll be managing the station as well. Next, or finally, would be the planning stage. The first is the Majestic Hotel, Ipoh. This is a once upon a time, the rich and famous, they used to stay here, the sultans and whatnot, to converge. It is a very nostalgic station, which we are going to revive it. That means we will retain the Majestic Hotel. This is similar to KLO. KLO is the Kuala Lumpur Old Station, which we're going to revive, probably inviting international competitors or bidders to redevelop the whole station, but retaining the heritage part. Next one is the Seremban Central. It's a privatization. Also, the return to REC is in cash and kind. Those are the red dots, red spots are the places where we are supposed to develop around the area. And finally, it's Compass Johor. So REC will be the master developer for this project. It's going to be a very huge project. It's a super huge development. It's a sort of a creation of a mini township, sorry. GDV expected to be 28.6 billion. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, marketing for REC. Thank you very much for your kind attention. We are open to question and answer, or yes, okay. Anybody who has interest, who REC Central is open for rental. Thank you very much. KSUs, okay, please. Yes, sir.
Okay, hello. Encik Adam, I'm from UTAR.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, right? Did RIC also working with the local institutions to actually promote, the development of the railway in Malaysia?
Okay. That
I mean, in terms of maybe providing trainings or providing funding or any grants for R&D or anything.
Okay. REC's structure, before I answer your question, I just explained a bit about REC. REC's structure is very skeleton. We don't have any expert in rail. So when I joined REC a year ago, it is a very odd situation in the sense that we are managing rail assets, but we don't have a rail unit or division. Hence, we have just been approved of a rail division with a number of small staff, which we are going to start to advertise for those who have rail background, or at least. Now, in order for me to answer your question, straightforward, not yet. Not to say no, not yet. So probably we will have an engagement with institution, public or private, or even NRCOE also is also another of our client. So we will work together. Yes, we're going to have future. Thank you. My university lecturer used to say, Dr. Dimbab, Professor Dr. Dimbab, not Cik Datuk. No question is a very good question. Oh, cakap.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Very good afternoon. My name is Suhardi. I'm from Sarawak Metro. For your information, Sarawak Metro will be the ART system. At the same time, we're going to have three TOD to develop in Sarawak. So I just want to check with this because for this RSC, the TOD, the RSC will be the owner for the TOD, or you just the implementer, or are you going to, and what is the business model for RSC use? Is it going to JV with the developer or any other business model? Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Nadai. Nadai. REC is a very small organization. When I joined, it was about 115 or 16 staff. Now we have 130. Not yet restructuring, still in the process. For TOD, we don't have the expert to develop together with consultant or developer and whatnot. So what we do right now is we JV with them. The land is there, develop the land, and probably there's a profit sharing or outright sale or whatever. But no specific model is being used. Mun di Sarawak kita maulah gini tau. You have the piece of land and redevelop that land. Of course, the funding, we don't have the funding. Or probably we have the funding, but we don't want to utilize our funding. So we will JV with developer. So a certain percentage will be shared. No exact or specific model. No federal funding. REC, since 2015, before or after we did the rebranding in 2015, federal has stopped funding to REC. So we do not get any funds from Ministry of Finance or even MOT. It's a self-sustained organization to monetize the assets. Thank you, sir. So thank you very much again, ladies and gentlemen.
I have to do this every single time because everyone's taller than me. Okay, thank you very much, Encik Adam. One interesting point that I want to note, you mentioned that any development should not sacrifice the heritage surrounding it, and that's a very good thing. Okay. And thank you for the questions as well, gentlemen. So we come to our second presentation, and it is on rail industry standards towards the year 2030. And our presenter is Encik Hasri Harun from the National Rail Centre of Excellence, or NRCOE. And he was with Mike before. Welcome.
Thank you, Suvini. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon and salam keluarga Malaysia. So, I will talk about the rail standard. It sounds weird, but we need to do something. Okay. Okay. Encik Adam, he mentioned how RAC evolved. Yeah, he don't know anything about RAC, and he don't know that RAC exists. But I will tell a bit on how NRCOE going to be evolved. Okay, so we have started the initiative in 2015. Before I moved from MIGHT, yeah. Before I moved from MIGHT. So I was from MIGHT before, 4 years in MIGHT. And actually, I'm graduated from MIGHT. Yeah. Right. So from 2015, with two or three members, we have evolved the development. And hopefully by next year, early next year, I think we are towards the end already. We have presented, our minister have presented the cabinet paper for the approval of establishment of NRCOE, and we hope to be officialized by first quarter of next year. All right. Basically, NRCOE is part of the journey under National Transport Policy, where under initiative Trust number 1, initiative GT 2.1A, the establishment of NRCOE to look after the development of our local rail industry. So we are here to help our local industry to grow. Yeah, and last 2 weeks in a row, myself and Encik Adam, we have cracked our head. Yeah, to during last 2 weekends, we have a top management retreat to strategize how we are going to develop or enhance our local rail industry. So, okay, NRCOE will be something like other agency, like in automotive, we do have MARIC. Yeah. Maritime, we have JLM. Construction, we have CIDB. And aerospace, we have NRCOE. But for rail, we still have an absence of coordinating body, and NRCOE will be part of the role to ensure that whatever, especially on government contract, we will bring in more local people or local industry player to participate. Okay. Okay. I will touch our topic today, which rail standard towards 2030. So first of all, I just want to get everybody to understand why we need to standardize. Yeah. So we are looking, on the consistency of product or component or system that we use. Simplicity, we don't make it complicated, yeah, because I think most of our rail projects before, or I think some currently running, we are depending more on external parties, yeah. We have external consultant, we have external OEM, yeah, and foreign suppliers. So, and we would like to have our local standard, yeah, for our rail development in future, where we can capitalize our local industry player, yeah, to support back the projects, the new project, and also the current operation, yeah, in the country. And also we're talking about efficiency, yeah, efficiency. And of course, we need to get all the rail stakeholders, yeah, needs to actively participate in the development of standard. Okay. Why the Malaysia Railway Standard necessity? So we have our goal to drive the improvements in Malaysia railway system. So basically, I just give a brief bit on the railway standardization. We are working closely with other international body like UIC from Europe and also from China as well. Yeah. Standardization is defined as an active in general interest, the purpose of which to provide reference document drawn up in a consensual manner by all interest party relating to rules, characteristic, recommendation, security, interoperability requirements, or example of good practice relating to products, services, method, processes, or organization aimed to encouraging economic development and innovation while taking into account the objective of sustainable development. So at the end of my presentation, I will talk a bit on the sustainable development of the railway. So rail transport has been about technical harmonization and compatibility. Yeah, compatibility between infrastructure, between tracks and the rolling stock that's operate on the tracks, compatibility between locomotive and various source of energy supply, compatibility between train that operates on the network thanks to the signaling system and traffic management system designed to protect the train from accidental contacts and collision with other train or obstacle. So the technical harmonization enables connection to be made between railway lines and on other larger scale between railway networks, thus enabling large intercontinental corridors to link between continent by rail. Yeah. And as you know, UIC Europe have developed the standard for our railway, globally since 1922. Before the World War, they have developed the system. Okay. So however, what does technical harmonization involve today in 21st century? It is based on the three basic foundation. Number one, first of all, on regulation enacted by the states and international body, such as European Commission, and these rules are legally binding. Okay. Number two, they are the standard published by standardization bodies, yeah, that conduct work on the basic components of the railway system. For example, mechanic, electrical, IT, energy base. That standard define the characteristic and expected performance of the equipment to meet a set of requirements. Finally, there is rail's contribution in the shape of the sector standard. Yeah? The railway also interested in how component works, but within the context of the railway system, the components are nowadays independent. So ensure harmonization and economic efficiency in the railway, NRCOE facilitate the development of standard testing facility and certification to ensure local product, services, and operation meet the current need and comply with international requirements. So this is part of NRCOE core objective, which is under testing and certification. If you can see, number one of NRCOE objective, developing the talent, human capital. The Rail Industry Development Program, where MOT is anchor on this. And for the research and technology, it will be under MOSTI. I think maybe I can answer the question from our member from UTAR. So we do have a few R&D programs that we have presented to various ministry, and recently MOSTI have taken up this, and they will offer some sort like a grant for this development. I think the biggest R&D program that we're going to pursue is for MRT3 project, and we have presented to Minister of MOSTI in September, and next will be to our Prime Minister. Okay. If you all can see why the train is slow, belakang tu. Why? Anybody knows? Okay, basically we have talked about these issues for quite some time, and then our part, we analyze and we measure the gaps in the industry. And from there, we pick up, and now is our journey to drive the high-speed train, to make sure what we plan, we start to do it. And we have some action plan to do within this month. Okay, basically, based on the projects as I highlighted on the above, we have huge project coming, and we don't want to be left behind. Meaning, what I mean is our local players. We want to bring in as many as possible the local players to participate in our rail project. And to do that, we need to have something that we can protect our local industry. So by having Malaysia Rail Standard Development, we will make sure that we will get more local participation, and we don't have to abide with the international standard that being put up by our consultant and other players as well. Okay, so the focus area on the Malaysia Rail Standard that we're going to pursue is on the track work components, track work components, rolling stock, communication, and others as well. And besides that, we're going to enhance or identify the testing facility that require for the industry. I think a lot of testing we still send to foreign testing center. So this will cost a lot, and will increase a lot of time consumed. So by having our local testing facility, we can capitalize our local, and we can speed up the development on time. Okay. Right. This is the standard organization chart under MOT, especially. So where in November last year, okay, our KSU have approved to develop the Malaysia Rail Standard, in order to support the local industry development. So if you can see under NSC here, ada ni. It's okay. Under NSC, NSC is a national standard committee land. So you can see down here, rail is not in yet. So we will put the rail under TCL12. Yeah, that is for rail coming. And we have an action plan coming up where, yeah, this month on 17, we are going to have the first workshop of Malaysia Rail Industry Standard first. Yeah, this will be organized by SIRIM. And also we do have our local rail expertise, yeah, which will include from industry, academia, and also from the the organization like IEM, yeah. And we also have a partner from China, if you can see there, the Standard Technical Advisor. And I think on this one, the government have made a G2G arrangement between Malaysia and China to make sure this thing will be realized. Yeah, we don't want to, talk nothing and nothing. After that, nothing happened. And this will be monitored by our, our minister as well. And of course, we do have UIC to verify the standard that we develop. So I'll take one example. Why we need a standard, standardization. What I mean is, if you can see on our current development of track work from north to south. Yeah, I think Dr. Arvin is from track work. He is more, have more experience and exposure in the track development. We have a lot of varieties of standard that being used for the track component. For example, the clips, the clips. How many clips you have? 3 types, three types. Where if we develop a standard clips for all the tracks, and we can generate the economic skill of our local industry as well. And we can develop our local expertise with high skill of engineering. Yeah. So that's why that one, I'll take one example because there is a lot more to go. Okay. And we do have technical steering committee under MITI and SIRIM. They will report to the National Rail Center of Excellence Steering Committee, yeah, at MOT. Okay, we will make sure this thing will be realized within 2 years. Why we do this? No, I've already asked. Why we do standard? Why? Of course, we have a target. We have a target to make sure that once we have our own Malaysia Rail Standard, this Malaysia Rail Standard will be extended to ASEAN countries as well. Because our environment is not the same as in Europe or Japan or Korea or China. Yeah, our environment is we have to, 2 seasons only. Yeah? Rain and hot. That's it. So some of the standard that we follow, we still use the standard -30 plus 50 degrees C. Why? So this thing we are going to deliberate in the technical committee. Then we will have one standard for all ASEAN countries to use. Yeah, and we will have a platform to discuss at ASEAN level where we're going to use the Singapore Kunming Rail Link Committee. Yeah. Okay. What the potential project that we will target is on ECRL. Yeah, ECRL, because we are sitting in the one of the committee number 6 in ECRL steering committee, and we have a few negotiations for the ECRL. And what China side want to know is we want to see how many ready companies, you know, that we can prepare in order for them to order the components for their project on system work package. This will be on 2023. Yeah, we still have time because standard development lead time will take around 18 months. Yeah. Okay, next one will be on the MRT3. So for MRT3, this is going to be interesting because we have discussed with MRT Corp that for MRT3, we would like to have more local components, local players to participate in this project. Yeah. Okay. The project worth about 50 B. Yeah. So if we can get 10%, it's a lot already. Yeah. Don't target too high. Yeah. Okay. And then next one is for ASEAN. Okay. For ASEAN countries. And of course, we do have also the state in Malaysia where we do have Penang coming, Sarawak Metro. I do have a Sarawak team here. Of course, please make use of what we have developed in the country rather than you are listening to the consultant. Yeah, of course, consultant, you know, they want to cover their interest as well, bring most of the component from their country. Yeah. So this will, you know, will develop or will increase the economic spillover, you know, from the government investment. Okay, I'll come up to the end of my slide, I believe. So basically, our expected outcome, at least we're going to qualify and certify 70 local suppliers who will support most of the project in Malaysia. Not only that, we will nurture the local company to participate for ASEAN market as well. Yeah, I think we're working closely with MITI, and I think in National Industry Master Plan, I think we have worked with Mike. We have mentioned about this, yeah, to get our local to participate in global market as well. And other contribution is on the localization and MRO. This is another things. Our MRO, if you know, currently, I think most of the components we still purchase from OEM countries. Yeah. And we want to reduce these numbers. Yeah. And of course, we have a target where in average, I would say 45% for the first 10 years. Yeah. And this will develop our local capability and then opportunity for our local to develop a high skill talent, yeah, and job opportunity as well to our locals. So, and lastly, to develop a local system industry in the areas of engineering and consultancy services to have a big participation in Malaysian railway projects. Okay. Just now I did mention in my earlier slide on the sustainable development. So in NRCOE, we have a sustainable railway development program where we want to ensure that our local will meet the latest technology of development in rail industry, and also we want to be at par with other global players, and we have to make sure that any new development from the other part of the world we also will gain. Yeah, and the rapid development of this industry in the next 10 years, yeah, with rail project that has been approved by government of Malaysia, will generate a high demand for professional skill and semi-skilled manpower in this field. It is therefore a necessity for Malaysia government to focus on the development of the country's rail industry and initiate steps by developing Malaysia Rail Standard. With that, I end up my presentation, and I know this is, and thank you again to MARIC and MIGHT. This is my second time this year who presented. Actually, this is my presentation today is the continuity of the first one in April. Yeah, because on this presentation, we have an action plan, to proceed. And we need to get the commitment from our industry players to make sure our objectives is achieved. Thank you very much. Question? Yes. Cik Adam.
Thank you, Jasri, for your elaborate presentation. I got two questions. Number one is, this is a new establishment that is going to be born in the first quarter of 2022.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
May I know where does the funding comes from? That's number one.
Okay.
Okay. Number two.
You're talking about the development of Malaysia Rail Standard or NRCOE?
As a whole.
As a whole. Okay, of course. Yeah.
All right. I think you know where I'm going. Number two, just now I had a very brief discussion with Professor Dr. from UTAR. Right? Professor Yu, yes.
Okay.
He was saying that in UTAR they have a specific course for rail. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Yes, correct. So in this regard, how does the university and NRCOE can work together so that the module or the subject or the syllabus for that matter does not derail from the government's policy?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Cik Adam. Okay, I answer your question number one first. On the funding will come from the various ministries. Yeah, we do have from MOF, from MOSTI, and also other, and from ICP as well. Yeah. Okay. Part of it will be from REC. Part of it will be, the initial one will be from REC, what we call it the seed fund. That I will get it hopefully next month. Okay. Yeah, betul. You're right. Okay, to answer your question number two. Yes, on the human capital development, I have not touched detail on this one, but we are working closely with university to make sure that you don't derail from the track. Yeah, we don't want a university to do a lot of things where you don't have a focus. Rail system, we have a lot. Yeah, we have a specific rail system. Yeah, we have rolling stock, we have signaling, we have communication, we have AFC, electrification, blah blah blah. Okay, we have a lot, and each university we have done a mapping for you to focus. Yeah. And we don't want you to only develop the talent or develop the module only. Yeah. But on university, you need to think wider. Yeah. Where we need to work closely with industry, resolve some of their current operation issues. For example, that we have a few R&D programs that we will collaborate with university and industry players to resolve some of the issue. In terms of funding, not to worry. So we will work out for you. Yeah. So is that answer? Okay. And NRCOE on human capital development, we are in the process of migration of the current Malaysian Rail Academy under KTMB, yeah, to train all of the trained, workforce for mainline first. And we will work with Prasarana on the urban rail training program. Okay. Thank you. Chat up. Okay. This is my favorite party from university. Wassalam.
Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon to all. Actually, now you are talking about Malaysia Rail Standard. Okay. I would like to hear your opinions. Some other industry, they are adapting the international standard because of market access. There are a good reason for us why we want to adapt our MRS. Okay. Because in our construction industry, we are adapting this British standard. Okay. For the construction. For the rail, how this MRS can adapt to the international standards?
Of course, we will benchmark the international standard. Yeah, we will benchmarking the international standard. As I mentioned earlier, why we need to follow minus 30 degree and plus 50 degrees Celsius in the European international standard. Yeah. So that kind of things that we need to deliberate, and this standard can be extended to our ASEAN country. I think most of the ASEAN country, I think we don't even go to minus 5 even. Yeah. So I think in terms of the economic scale of local industry development, I think we should look a bigger picture. Yeah, rather than we focus on the certain projects only. Okay. Okay, Dr. Liu.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Hasri. Yeah. Okay. For your very good presentation. Okay.
Thank you.
Because this is a very important, I think, for Malaysian, especially establishing the NRCOE. Okay. Because once, like what you say, okay, when we have a standard, okay, then it can actually reduce the complexity, okay, and also make the simplicity and also compatibility, okay, improve this entire industry in the Malaysia, okay. And also, I believe, right, with the NRCOE as a hub, okay, for all the railway related, either research or industry, okay, then I think it can actually facilitate the development of our country, because railway is the prime mover, okay, of our economy, okay. So that's why I'm also very excited to actually work together with NRCOE to see what we can actually contribute. Like what Mr. Adam said just now, okay, it is very important, right, for our higher institute, okay, to actually work very closely with NRCOE, because eventually whatever we are doing, we don't want to waste our effort.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to actually just on par, and also whatever we did, okay, eventually we will see the what we call the effect or impacts, right? My question is, of course, first of all, it's not really a question, but then it's just, how can we actually get involved with the NRCOE? Because, I get to know NRCOE 2 years ago, okay? But when I try to approach, my approach to try to find more information from the website, I failed, okay? Because the website don't really updated, okay? And then secondly, I think this is a good chance for me to actually get to know you, okay? And then perhaps later on, right, we can actually, get involved more actively, so that's right. Eventually, we can also contribute to NRCOE, especially even in the standard, right? Okay, maybe we can also participate together in this what we call standard development, okay? And of course, I'm thinking, right, like what you say, right, developing an ecosystem, okay, to make the economy of scale is important. Like it's a very good planning, like I think NRCOE did the effort to actually setting a target to increase the number of local companies, okay, to provide all this kind of equipment or device. Okay, and I think moving towards Industry 4.0, right? Because Industry 4.0 is just at the beginning, okay, of this era.
Yeah.
So I believe, right, everybody at the same, starting line. Unlike the hardware, probably we can't develop our own rolling stock. But talking about those AI, artificial intelligence, big data, all these things, we are all, just beginning. So I believe we are competitive enough, okay?
Yeah.
And hopefully we can actually work together, okay, with NRCOE, okay, to actually promote this AI and also the big data. So in your opinion, right, did NRCOE actually consider to move towards Industry 4.0?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, we have done. We're going to officiate one of the program, R&D program. We start for R&D on 31st of this month between KTMB and University Malaya. This is the program which will integrate between IoT and IR 4.0. We do have already. So of course, if you want to do more, so you can come and visit our team in front of you, okay? And we can discuss further. We want to know what are your specialized area, so we can discuss with the industry, and we will facilitate. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
Assalamualaikum, Encik Asri.
Wassalam.
My name is Rizal from Harta Suma. First of all, I would like to applaud the NRCOE, the establishment of NRCOE. Actually, for MARIC, since our establishment, we've been yearning for these Malaysian railway standards. The players, industry players in the rolling stocks, in the rolling track works, we have been waiting for this for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I think it is about very timely for NRCOE to put specific clause in the future contracts so that the local players will benefit. As at now, I think what you have mentioned just now is very timely. We need to have contracts established in Malaysia to be a Malaysian company to benefit. I mean, not all, but basically, as what you know, in any part of the world, especially with the upcoming rails projects in Indonesia, they have put it mostly about 70% of participation from the local.
Also, he did mention he want to prioritize local design. Yeah. So of course, you guys also need to upskill your capability. So we can support you to meet the requirement. Okay. Okay. Oh, I have a lot of questions. I'm jealous.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay. Anas from UNW. So, Cik Azri, I think you know me.
Okay.
So,
I know you.
quick question. Because you mentioned just now more towards standardization, right?
Yep.
So, obviously, when you standardize a bit, there's gainers and losers in terms of, for example, in the component. For example, we are more towards Japanese style or European style. So, and then, if not mistaken, in NRCOE, you want also go for ASEAN market also. So, how do you play the waters in those?
Okay. Basically, I have presented this to UIC platform in October, just recently, and they are not shocked, but they say, wow, this is something good for this region in order for them to come in and support us. And they really appreciate that what we have done in this region, and they want to give their full support to make sure that the Malaysia Rail Standard development will be extended to other ASEAN countries. Yeah, because I think from European side, I think of course they have established their standard based on the industry requirement. So I think we need to. That's why in one of my slides I did mention we need to sit down with all of the rail stakeholders, to make sure that we develop one standard that we can use within our country and also in ASEAN region. Yeah, I think the European UIC European really support about this, and they also have helped China last time when they want to develop their standard in China. I think we don't have any issue on that one. Okay.
Because earlier this year you signed with England, if I'm not mistaken, right? The R&D for R&D. I forgot what's the
one that we signed.
Yeah, early, I think
UK.
Yeah, UK.
Oh, UK is on the training program. We signed with ANSA UK, National Skill Academy for Rail. So they want.
So the way forward is towards maybe follow the. I mean, I understand the early stage is still you need to balance it out for all the system. I mean, there are so many what do you call manufacturers. I mean, from Europe, Korea, and Japan.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Going to standardize it. Okay. Yes, please. From Mike also before.
Good afternoon, Chiasri.
Yeah, afternoon.
By the way, I'm Priscilla from Sarawak Metro. So I'm actually excited to what NRCOE trying to achieve here, because I think railway standard is something that the industry players have been talking about for quite some time. My question is, I would like to know if we were to implement...
Louder a bit. Okay. Close your... yeah.
So my question is, if we were to develop this Malaysian standard, right, when are we planning to implement it? Because there's a lot of big projects in the pipeline. One of it is our project, ART in Kuching. So it's already ongoing. So I would like to know when we can implement it so that we don't want to miss the boat, because I believe by having this railway standard, we can enhance our localization and give more opportunities to local players.
Yep, exactly. As I mentioned earlier, we will kick off the standard development workshop on 17 December. Okay, the development of standard lead time is from 12 to 18 months. So what we are targeting the closest project, which is ECRL, because the tender for the system will be out somewhere in the midst of 2023. So we still have time, and that's why I told my colleague from MARIC, we need to drive this faster, like the high-speed rail that I put it on my presentation. So no more lenggang lagi, no more talking. Now the time to drive. Yeah. So on this one also, we will get the expertise from international players as well. For example, from UIC, and also university. Also, you are welcome to be in this technical committee. Okay. Okay. Lama dah ni. Okay. So, anything else? Tak ada? All right. Okay. With that, I end up my thank you, my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Encik Hasri. Okay, for our next presenter, she has joined us all the way from Shanghai, China, but of course not physically, but virtually. She will be presenting on last mile connectivity and micron mobility. She is from China Railway Shanghai Design Institute Group Co. Limited. So please welcome her. Sorry, I didn't say the name. It's Miss Fan Yuan.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Fan Yuanyuan, and I am a civil engineer working in CRCC. It's really my honor to give a presentation here. Today, my topic is about station, especially the railway station, which is always a beginning for people to start one's journey in the city. In this presentation, I'd like to focus on 3 parts of recent development in station design, including new demand, new guide, and new focus. I'll speak for about 20 minutes to allow time for questions and comments. Please feel free to interrupt if you have any questions or want to make a comment. First, I'll give a brief overview of the development of railway station in China. Railway, result of the first industrial revolution, which connects more cities with its 2 tracks, has become an important factor in the prosperity of the city. In the past 200 years, the relationship between railway station and the city has been evolving through time to cope with the change of demand. In general speaking, the history of station in China has 3 stages. Before 1978, Chinese transportation condition fell behind the times. Station was rather like a link with the outside world and the city. In 1978, China's reform and opening up has completely changed the concept and the life of Chinese people. The construction has developed a lot, and a new form of railway station has emerged called a viaduct station in Shanghai. This type could save land and shorten streamline. In 2003, high-speed railway year came. Bridge station integration model appeared. It really makes the station as a zero-distance comprehensive transportation complex, integrating all kinds of transportation models. At the end of 2016, in China, there have been 22,000 kilometers high-speed rail lines, 676 high-speed railway passenger stations, and 52 extra-large passenger stations. So, what's the next story about station in the new era? In the past 5 years, the demand of regional integration and high time value increases. First, up to now, China has formed 7 major urban agglomerations, as we know, including Yangtze River Delta, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area, and so on. And take Yangtze River Delta, for example, as shown in picture 2, has formed a 1 core, 5 circles, and 4 belts in urban agglomeration. The effect of metropolitan area and co-urbanization is prominent. Under the influence of regional integration, the region of passengers' activities rises from city to intercity. According to the scientific research from China Academy of Urban Planning and Design, the number of intercity in the Yangtze River Delta is increasing. This graph shows you that the number of cross-city commuters is 3.5 million per day. The number of cross-city business travel on weekdays is 3.6 million per day. And the number of cross-city leisure during holidays is 5.5 million per day. This clearly shows 2 points. Number 1, the railway needs to enter the urban core. Number 2, the railway needs a lower cost, direct access, and more convenience. The second demand is the high time value. Nowadays, the population characteristics of traveling has changed, taking the businessman and the commuter as a principal part. They focus on strong time sensitivity and high requirements for travel quality. In response for that, it needs transfer in the station, transfer process drifts towards public transportation, and a compression dwell time in the station. Based on the analysis of new demand in the last 5 years, the engineers in China think deeply that how a new type of station could adjust the new era. Learning is always an important way. We get a great wealth of experiences abroad. First, London King's Cross Station in UK. This is the world's most successful urban center regeneration project. Since 1995, planning for renovation has been started, and a large number of headquarters have moved in since 2013, including Google, Diplomat, etc. Now it becomes diversified and dynamic high-density blocks. The second one, Minamashita Station in Japan. This station and its surroundings have become a place where nature and commons are integrated, which lead a new way of life and work with the station as a core. Third one, Rotterdam Central Station in Dutch. It is the world's largest photovoltaic railway station, which is such a good example to show that how a station turns to green and low carbon, and how science and technology lead the station development. The fourth one, Lisbon's Orange Station in Portugal. Inspired by the woods in nature, the Spanish architect Santiago Alatrava built a forest on the concrete floor. Now this station has become the symbol of Lisbon. Fifth, Kyoto Station in Japan. Kyoto Station is not only a railway station, but also a shopping mall, an art center, and a commons complex. And the architecture itself is a piece of amazing work. I've been Kyoto for twice, and every time I spend a whole day in this station. Six, West Kowloon Station in Hong Kong, China. Hong Kong West Kowloon Station is located in an important plot next to Victoria Harbour, close to the Culture Zoo. It has a strong urban public element and is regarded as a new landmark. Now I'd like to move on to the development trend and the innovations of passenger station in China in these 5 years. There are 4 points called transportation hub, city living room, breathing square, and optical value guidance. The fundamental function of the station hub bases on 2 points. One is on comprehensive transportation, and the other is on improving hub integration, service standards, and specifications. In China, traffic development has new objectives. In hub distribution part, as we can see in chart 1, for transfer time between major passenger hubs, cities with a population more than 10 million, less than 1 hour, and less than twice. Cities with a population between 5 million and 10 million, less than 45 minutes. Cities with a population between 1 million and 5 million, less than 30 minutes. For transfer time in one hub, less than 5 minutes. For transfer distance between entrance and exit of passenger with different yards, less than 200 meters. In service experience part, as we can see in chart 2, availability of real-time transfer information. We need guide signs and transfer information of various transportation modes, such as transfer track, ground bus, and taxi. Integrated and diversified ticket system promote one-cut interchange of intercity railway, subway, light rail, and bus. For different travel needs, diversified ticket systems such as commuter monthly ticket and the tourism union shall be implemented. And the last one is mutual recognition of security inspection between railway and urban rail. But the idea of station design not only focuses on this traditional function, but rather focuses on blank. There is an old saying in China from Lao Tzu, 山之以为器，当其无，有器之用；凿户有以为室，当其无，有室之用；故有之以为利，无之以为用。It means people make a container which can be useful once it is blank. People build a house. It just can be useful when it has nothing in it. That wants to tell me the relationship between having and nothingness. And in station design, the engineers adopt this old but deep thinking. A good station design needs to consider the development of elastic growth, including flexibility, strategic blank space, and balance the new functions of urban areas. Take Shanghai Hongqiao Station, for example. This station has been built in 2010. However, in these 11 years, it has been growing every year. It is reserved for the flexibility of transportation facilities like maglev line and the intercity line. The public space of the station is a place for citizens and visitors to share leisure time. It is equivalent to adding a comprehensive commercial transition space in front of the traditional station house. Once a point in Tang Dynasty called Li Bai wrote a famous poetry, 烟花三月下扬州, to his best friend. People of any age want to travel to Yangzhou in sunny spring from that time. So, once tourists entering and leaving Yangzhou East Railway Station are just like entering a city living room. They can learn all the Yangzhou food, scenery, industry, and culture they want to know in the business district in front of the station. Breathing Square means in ordinary times used as a multifunctional urban space and a comfortable and pleasant leisure landscape square. And when holidays come, as Chinese Spring Festival transportation, it can be easily transformed into an extended waiting room that can accommodate a large number of passengers. Guangdong province in China is a big economic area with a large number of migrant workers. During the Spring Festival transportation every year, the average number of railway passengers arriving and departing is about 22 million in 40 days. So, Guangzhou Baiyun Station under construction is a piece of wonderful work with this conception. In traditional railway, the passengers come from the public transport system below to reach the target floor through vertical traffic. But Hangzhou West Station innovates an idea of optical value, set up an in-trim space with up and down connection, share direct sunlight to the underground and centralized vertical traffic facilities, which not only makes the guidance clear, but also solves the underground space. Because the atrium is arranged along the direction of a railway, just like Sunshine Canyon, the concept of traffic valley is formed. Hangzhou West Railway Station has separated one passenger station into two parts so that it set up a traffic valley, which passengers can enter the station from the middle. This layout activates the spatial value and makes efficient use of natural light. As mentioned above, the essence of transportation is that let people overcome obstacles of time and space to meet people's needs of moving from one point to another with technical means. However, with time evolving, the station is no longer a concrete and steel structure, but a new form of work and life and culture integration in the city. Except station design, the government and engineers pay more attention to the part between the station and the destination. How it works shows the city's development in some degree, I suppose. Because I live in Shanghai, so I will take this city for example. Last month, COP26 was held in Glasgow, which was the most important meeting about climate change after Paris Agreement since 2015. Now people form a consensus that we must reduce the carbon dioxide emission. In fact, since 2000, Shanghai municipal government aims to develop the green public transportation. They put it in the primary position and fully reflect this priority in all links such as planning, investment, construction, operation, and service. In these 2 decades, the government strengthened the backbone role of rail transit function, accelerated the improvement of ground bus service level, strengthened connection with the various modes of transportation, and improved the working condition. Strengthen the backbone role of rail transit function. By 2021, the total traffic mileage reaches 772 kilometers, ranking first in the world. In 2020, the average daily passenger volume of Shanghai Metro Line network reaches 7.8 million, form a multi-level network integration. Intercity line and the suburban line will reach 1,000 kilometers. Urban rail transit and subway and the light rail will be 1,000 kilometers. And also local line as modern train will get 1,000 kilometers. The service hours of all lines in the central urban area are extended to 0.5 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. And in the morning and evening peak hours, the operation interval shortens to less than 2.5 minutes. Building an efficient ground public transportation system, set up bus line, form a 500 kilometers bus line network, implement signal priority, ensure that the average operation speed in peak hours reaches 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. Gather the bus microcirculation. Pay attention to opening up the microcirculation and promote the layout of the last kilometer bus line network. Realize full coverage of bus stops in the central city with a radius of 500 meters. Improve the connection level of bus stops within 15 meters of rail transit stops in the central city to make public transport seamless. Information of public transport can be obtained in real time through app, websites, and the information board at the bus stops. And now the bus companies select pure electric buses to accelerate the realization of zero emission, and the number of new energy buses has reached 8,000 up to now, and the application proportion is more than 50%. Improve working conditions. Improve the conditions for working and cycling to connect with public transport. Make the process of walking to the station more pleasant. Make it more convenient and safe to ride a bike and train to public transportation. Promote the construction of pedestrian corridors and passengers in area where conditions permit. And advocate the public to take green travel. Encourage citizens to adopt green transportation and reduce the use of cars. For long-distance travel, advocate intensive low-carbon public transport plus walking and cycling. For short-distance travel, advocate healthy walking and cycling. At last, I want to share a little story about how I go home every day. The distance between my company and my house is about 16 kilometers. I choose metro as my commuting way. 9 stops, 30 minutes in line 1, no more choice. But from last station to my house is flexibility. This 1.2 kilometers makes me to take a choice every day. When it is a sunny day, I'd like to walk home or ride sharing bike, enjoying the beautiful sunshine. When it rains, well, raining bothers me a lot. I took bus, 2 stops just in front of my house. And when I work late at night or have to take some files or laptop home, I take taxi. It's a bit expensive, so that happens later. And the new skill I get this year is skateboard, because I'm a learner. I just use it when I go home with my husband together. Driving home, now it is a nightmare in rush hour in Shanghai. With time evolving, the relationship among station and city and people has been changing all the time. However, I suppose no matter it changes, the pursuit of better life will never change. So that is the mission of civil engineers. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Fan. Okay, we open the floor to any questions. Anyone? Okay. Is Mr. Adam?
Hello, Ms. Fan. This is Adam here from Railway Asset Corporation. Just out of curiosity, to build a station in, for example, in Shanghai, it's not a big project. It's not a huge project. It is a humongous project to build a station. Now it involves a lot of planning, other consideration like development, planning, land acquisition, and whatnot. How does Shanghai, for example, in your organization, get to build a station when the population around the area is already flooded with people? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a very good question. And in Shanghai, now it has been 4 stations already. And one is in planning in Shanghai Pudong called the East Station. Of course, it's a hard project in Shanghai and in any city in China, because now land is valuable. So that always reminds us that planning is always a priority. It's always very important. So I have to say that planning in Shanghai is so great. The first ranking in China. So it has already planning all the stations in the city. So when engineers want to build a station in Shanghai, open the planning. It has already there, and everything maybe goes a little easier compared with other cities. Thank you.
谢谢你。
Would anyone else like to ask a question? Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay, Ms. Fan, we thank you very much for joining us and for your very interesting presentation. We hope to see you again in the next event. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, we have come to our final presenter. He is from Perbadanan Putrajaya. He's a senior officer, and his work includes Policy and Road Act, road safety, pedestrian safety, traffic monitoring, motorcycle safety, and public transport planning. And I hope it includes cycling lanes as well. And with that, and to present on the plan in revitalizing Putrajaya with a train system, please welcome Mr. Mas Rizal.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon. Clear? Okay. Can. Okay. Thank you to MARIC and UTAR for inviting me to present. Today, I would like to share about our experience develop Putrajaya, especially in transportation. Okay, my name Muhammad Mas Rizal Saad. Okay, I will stress more. This is my content today, but I will stress more on challenges and way forward transportation in Putrajaya. Okay, the Malaysian. Let me introduce a little bit about Putrajaya success story. The creation of Putrajaya will be was officially proclaimed as a new federal administrative center on 1st February 2001. Okay, for your information, rationally, Putrajaya was considered as to ensure Kuala Lumpur inherited growth measure as a business and finance center. So they moved from Kuala Lumpur to Putrajaya. Okay. Formerly known as Perang Besar, they changed to name as Putrajaya. As you know, six location was decided, but finally Perang Besar was chosen by top management as a new federal administrative. Okay. The selection of Perang Besar was based on the weightage is a strategic location, and the best part is easily accessible to major transportation network, especially railways and port. Naming of Putrajaya, Putrajaya is named as a memory of first Prime Minister of Malaysia, Almarhum Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Haj. In early stage, Putrajaya strategic plan is as a garden city in harmony environment, but towards 2021, the plan strategy was changed to leading urban management and development through dynamic and innovative governance. Okay, this our president, Datuk Muhammad Azmi bin Muhammad Zain. So our vision in 2021 is Putrajaya World-Class Sustainable Administration City. Basic, can I show the basic fact and figure? Putrajaya was planned to be population for maximum 300,000 expected in 2023, I think 2 years more. And in daytime, we have a 500,000 of population, meaning that all over from Putrajaya come in and go back at night. Okay, we have a 95 kilometer road, major road, and 8 number of bridge, and monorail line we have 18 kilometer. But for your as you know, this is no more rail right now, not monorail in there. So we have no more rail. So I think our all in this room is a major player in rail base. Okay, right now we have 70,000 population based on 2010, and then we expected we have 65,000 residential units. So what we expect from this residential when all they completed. Okay, we related as a Pembadanan Putrajaya, we have 4 transport related agency. First MOT, second is MOF, third is Kementerian Wilayah, Ministry of Federal. Then the fourth is state government, which is Selangor. Okay, we have transport master plan. It's called TAP, Transport Action Plan for Putrajaya. So the objective of this plan is to make sure congestion free with minimum pollution, and we expected to be 70% of model split public transportation in core area. So our priority right now is public transport, and we hope we can get it soon. Okay. This policy is based on model split 70-30, which 90. Right now we have 90 NGV buses. We also encourage. We have a collaboration with Toshiba in Japan. We have a NEDO for EEV, electric bus. Okay. The main transportation terminal right now, we have a park and ride concept. So interchange network from Putrajaya and KL, we have express rail link, KLIA. Okay, we plan, our plan is as using a national guide, which is rail system is as a backbone of public transport. And then in Putrajaya, we have a bus feeder to cater all the public transport in Putrajaya. So second, we have a park and ride as a model shift location. We also have a Putrajaya Central as a transport hub, and bus Nadi Putra as a bus feeder service in localized. So actually, we want to reduce parking a lot, but right now for short time, we build up the parking lot as so much as you to cater all the people in Putrajaya. Okay, proposed rail network since 2006. We finished all this rail network with total length 20 kilometer with 2 lines. Is line 1 going to precinct 14, which is Abu Bakar Baginda. Then the line 2 is somewhere in precinct 4 to precinct 19. Okay, total station is 26. We have all the building and structural there, but no train inside the tunnel. So our tunnel inside there is 7 kilometer, as you can see under the lake. Okay, this I can show the picture in the tunnel at Precinct 4. So we maintain and make a good and clean only, and we must we make sure the tunnel is not flooding by the lake and raining. Okay, this inside the tunnel, we also we have 4 multi-story. So that's, as you can see, all the structural to cater a monorail there. Okay, we have proposed 2 Putrajaya Central at Precinct 7, which is right now MRT there with MRCB, I think so. Then the Eastern Transport Terminal at Precinct 70. This is a proposal. So we have 6 all part and ride to cater to as a hub to cater station from monorail. So this one, the situation right now, operate since 2002, KLIA Transit, bus terminal since 2006, and taxi service. But monorail still not yet, still under construction. Okay, we have facilities like commuter bus, private, and taxi with park and rides. Precinct 7 can cater 1,500 bay. Okay, this one in park and ride, Precinct 7. Okay, we serve the bus service with a transport action plan with provide and monitor concept PAM to make service to localize in Putrajaya. So this our route in until 2012, which is some of we have 4 major route. Okay, our long-term measure is to make additional park and ride in Precinct 4, 9, 12, and 13. Then we also make sure we have active transport. Active transport meaning walking and cycling measure. We also want to have a connectivity with a transport hub around Putrajaya. This one we not implemented yet until now because this is one we'll have a political will there to cordon to push better for people in Putrajaya from coming to Core Island. Okay, what that we implement and operate right now. So we have 4 major that we operate is Putrajaya Central, KLIA Transit, bus terminal, and taxi service. We provide also park and ride with bus service. Right now we have 175 with 23 routes. So total we serve for this parking lot for people outsider is 60,000. Okay, we have also all parking space total with quarters. Something that we actually serve for 15% only for quarters. But right, that's why as you can see in quarters Putrajaya, there are a lot of car in the main road. So we have a growth factor 10% per year on traffic, and overall per day we have 100,000 private car. So for sustainable transportation, we hopefully we have a tram system. So my presentation actually is a question for all the government and private player there, when we can get the public transport for in the rail base. Okay. Okay, this is what we want to ensure there. Okay, this one is we implement the electric bus in Putrajaya. Soon or later in the future, we change to EEV. Okay, so in the future, what we want, our next, our future generation likes to be using active transport with combination public transport to go in original and destination origin. This is cyclic. Okay, this what we cater in pedestrian and cycling network in Putrajaya. So in the future also we have a separated cycling route for people in Putrajaya. So we also going up to Grab car and Uber as a new transport in Putrajaya. We combine the ITS, IITS, Intelligent Transportation System in our control center, which is we have active traffic management like a police using direction to people. This our management in bus. As you can see, this is our control center in control center management in Perbadanan Putrajaya. So above there, you can, as you can see, all the car or pedestrian cater in our CCTV. So beware in Putrajaya. Okay, we also provide UTC, integrated service counter at Putrajaya Central. So, okay, the challenges in manage after Putrajaya was built. First, we want to know about the rail-based implementation master plan. So, can we revise or remain as previous as a rail-based backbone? Second, lack of objective within region. This is our challenges within agencies. So, lack of coordination among component, opposition from public when less parking. So they want they want us to build a parking space. So we also didn't know budget availability from MOF, and then whether condition and what the political will involve in our transport program. So we also facing community characteristic problem, kids sending to school and primary school, government employee within a small area. So what can public transport can cater for that? And also dedicate core center. Is it public transport rail-based core is cost for government or profit for provider? Two things core. We must decide. Is it cost or profit? Okay, this is a current traffic situation in peak hour at Putrajaya right now. So as you can see in CCTV, at early morning and late evening. So we also have parking space, limited parking space. This at government agency Complex E, 9 and to 10 a.m. So way forward from here, we want to decide about the public transport. We provide a dedicated lane for public transport. So if you driving in Boulevard from PICC to most Putrajaya, you have a 3 lane, and one is a dedicated for public transport, either bus route or monorail route. We also looking for climate changes issue change right now. As a Pepadanan Putrajaya, a host in climate change in Asia with Japan. We also want to know about tram system to provide in Putrajaya, traffic modeling. We also focus on parking management right now, since we have no direction for public transport. We also implement a TOD, transit oriented development, with a high density ratio. We collaborate with Putrajaya Holding to build at Putrajaya Central, and also we initiate to get a youth city, meaning the youth can use as a residential for TOD. That's all.
Azizal, I'm Hanif from Malaysia Rail Industry Corporation. It is clearly mentioned in the RMK 12 that the Putrajaya Monorail study, the third pillars of the fourth will be revived. It is a very important connectivity between Perbadan and Putrajaya, the one that existing 12.7 kilometers underground tunnel, and it will be interconnecting with the Bangi and Kajang. So there are many questions that can come in from many angles. Number one, the existing structure that you have is dedicated for a train system, which is a non-OCS, meaning non-quaternary, because at the same section, at some section of your transit line, the tower, the height of the tunnel is 4.7 meter. So for me, it is not suitable for the quaternary system. But we can go to the original plan to have something that can carry by like a LRT system, which is the power come from the bottom for the undercarriage. Also, we can go for some more greener energy system, large capacitor, for example, battery, or maybe something that Sarawak Metro is on its way in developing, that is a hydrogen fuel cell. So we have that, the line, which is being mentioned in the RMK 12. Putrajaya tunnel going to Kajang Central, no, Kajang and Bangi. Now, in doing construction of railway, we understand that it will involve the infrastructure and civil, and it also involve systems like the rolling stock and all the system maintenance. Being MARIC, I would like to offer our services in helping you in creating and developing the blueprint, especially on the system, and also into looking to franchise the whole system. As we know, the public transportation depending hugely into two sources of income, revenue stream and non-fare revenue stream. So you can concentrate on the fare revenue stream, and we can come with a non-fare revenue aspect. So we can say about the concession. And I would like also to propose that there will be many TOD elements to be included in. For example, if we go by looking and reading at what is being transpired in the RMK12, the connectivity between Putrajaya, going up to Parcel E, crossing the Kampung Abu Bakar Baginda something, and nanti Kajang Bangi, right? So that area is 30% owned by Petronas. And in some area, it will be the future high-speed rail train, which is now in the process of being revoked. Yeah? So we, MARIC, I offer our assistance to you in jointly to developing this until the level of the operation. Operational wise, I think moving forward in our country, we cannot depend hugely on the same system and same business model. We need to go by franchise. Franchise means we need to go by multiple railway operator scheme. The one railway line which is owned by one big agency but operated by many railway operators. This is the way forward. We need to go for the franchise. If we do this, it will lessen the burden of Pembangunan Putrajaya in construction and also MRO and in the also operation. So what say you, sir? Please write in.
Yes, correct. I will bring to a top management about your proposal, but let me read about the latest issue by our president just pasca cabinet meeting, which is they share with us, but in Malay. Okay, can I? Okay, cadangan untuk mendapatkan kelulusan secara prinsip berkenaan pembangunan rel di Putrajaya secara inisiatif pembiayaan swasta. Actually, a long time ago, we also discussed with UCAS about PFI, something. Then we talk about CAPEX, OPEC. Then the cadangannya tindakan menetapkan bahawa pengangkutan awam merupakan perkara di bawah tanggungjawab Yang Berhormat Menteri Kementerian Pengangkutan. Bersetuju untuk projek sistem rel Putrajaya dilaksanakan melalui RFP secara tender terbuka, bukan secara lantikan terus, di mana MJM untuk RFP sistem rel Putrajaya. Just 5 minutes, I get the minute. So this is a pasca cabinet. So we're looking for the latest news after this. So, any?
Terima kasih Cik Muhammad Mas Rizal, IR Mas Rizal, on your presentation just now. I moved to Putrajaya in 2003 from a ministry in KL. From the perspective of town planning, it's an awesome township, okay, as far as planning is concerned. If you look at now moving forward in 2016 or 17 or 18 or 19 onwards, you have quarters, many quarters, and you can see people will park their cars indiscriminately along, not only at the feeder road, but along the main road as well. Now the question is, what has Pembangunan Putrajaya done to address this phenomenon? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Firstly, we buy in that the parking must be provided to people in Putrajaya. No wonder where space is it. Is it temporary or permanent? But the political will is there to decide what people need for short-term measure. But in the long-term measure, we stick to a rail base as a federal or national public transport, but they have no push factor from government or federal. I mean to reduce government parking in administrative, so that the people change model split to public transport. So something like we carry flow with the people there. So for long term, maybe because when we're talking about public transport, this is a chicken and egg. So did you have a ridership there? No. But I didn't provide public transport service. So how? People want to know about the, get used to work or final destination to use. That's we worry about. So chicken and egg. Is it answer your question? No.
When we improve the public transportation system in Putrajaya, whatever, whether it's a new train system, whether it's the new bus system, kalau kita tengok satu rumah dekat precinct 16, apartment, satu rumah ada 3-4 kereta. Kalaupun dia naik public transport, kereta doang masih ada kat tepi jalan raya tu. So macam mana nak address? Soalan dia macam mana nak address isu tu?
You provide more parking.
Doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah.
Chicken and egg lah.
Chicken and egg.
Chicken egg.
So I think in overseas we have road pricing. Road pricing meaning we penalty and make parking price fees too high. So nobody driving private car and using public transport as well their domestic daily. That's push factor road pricing that has been used for a long time ago in overseas. But they also have take time. I think 30 years in US, 13 years to make sure all their something not we just say the middle class cannot have a car, but something we can reduce per family numbers of car there. That's all.
Assalamualaikum. Mas Rizal Ifmadi here, calling from Sarawak Metro. Okay. I'm interested about this transport master plan. If regards to this public transportation, okay, let's say the feeder bus, okay, the feeder bus. So because of based on the technology, you talking about the green technology that people talk nowadays around the world, and the green technology such as example that electric bus, hydrogen bus, and so on. So based on your presentation just now, is it more talking about the green technologies, or you talking about the technology inside the bus? Let's say the BI system, bus integrated system, the technology about the bus integrated system, or the technology in the bus, or what actually? Because if talking about this, let's say what you call that, what? Nadiputra.
Yeah.
Okay. Nadiputra, they
Correct.
have 10 buses, everything about this, apa ni? Electric bus. So is there bus, the technology of this electric bus, or you want to talk about this, the technology, the development of the technology for the buses, or not? Because I'm not clear on that. Please elaborate more on this.
Thank you for this question. It's a good question. Actually, the green bus, or what we call EEV, electrical bus, is a small part of our big picture of a green city in Putrajaya. Actually, we built one of policy for green city, which is cater for building, transport, and another thing. For community, we have landscape for urban landscape. So partly we have in this session, I talk about the public transport on green city. Actually, they have many things. Another solution for green city for bus or rail, like a fossil technology, which is in Stockholm, Sweden. They since 2009, they have 100% using a fossil bus. So we are far away behind them. So in 2017, we just collaborate with Japan to EEV. So this bus using battery can cater 80 kilometer per one route, or cycle to next charging system. So charging take about 10 minutes or 6 minutes, I think so. I can't remember that. But on fortnightly, we can charge for this bus. So we're moving forward, but in a small scale to ensure we provide a green city in the future. Thanks. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Encik Mas Rizal. Well, that's our final presenter. And as you can see, they are very much on track of today's Railted 21 theme of driving the competitiveness of an integrated, affordable, reliable, and smooth urban public rail for first and last mile mobility. So before I close, Dr. Arvind, or Dr. Arvind, would you like to say some words before we close?
Thank you very much, MC. Yes, but first of all, to the participants of the symposium this afternoon, thank you all very much for staying back and listening in. We've had some really informative speakers this afternoon, and we hope that we've all learned something. And as usual, what the symposium wanted to achieve from the theme itself, driving the competitiveness of an integrated, affordable, reliable, and smooth urban public rail, and of course for first and last mile mobility. So yes, with that, I thank you all very much, and again, we look forward to hosting the symposium again, and look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Arvin. And with that, we close today's session. And you are most welcome to enjoy some refreshments outside. And with that, Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much. And we wish you a very pleasant evening ahead. Thank you. Okay, gentlemen, speakers, presenters, can you please come up stage for a photo session?